स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. Now we shall chant 2 verses from the meditation of Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanooramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. In the last class, we completed the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Remember the name of the first chapter? Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The yoga of Arjuna's despondency or sorrow. Now, from today onwards, we will enter into a new chapter, the name of which is Sankhya Yoga. Second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is Sankhya Yoga or Gnana Yoga. 2 names are there, Sankhya Yoga or Gnana Yoga. Now, we will chant the first verse of the Sankhya Yoga. This first verse is uttered by Sanjaya. As I told you, Sanjaya, the commentator, has been given the special power, sitting in the palace in front of Dhritarashtra, the blind king. He was given the power, the yogic power by Vyasa Maharshi to see everything that is happening in the battlefield, the Kurukshetra. Somewhat it is about 100 or 200 kilometers away from Delhi, where Hastinavati, or the palace where Dhritarashtra was. And he could see everything. Not only that, he could even know the thoughts of the warriors there. And he is explaining everything to Dhritarashtra. Now, after the second chapter, in the first chapter, Sanjaya, in the first verse, second chapter, first verse, Sanjaya is telling. So we have to tell Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Please tell. Sanjaya Uvacha. Tam thata kripaya vishtam. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam. Ashrupurna kule kshanam. Ashrupurna kule kshanam. Vishidantamidam vakyam. Vishidantamidam vakyam. Uvacha Madhusudana. Uvacha Madhusudana. So this is the first verse. What is the simple meaning of this first verse? Madhusudanaha Uvacha. Sanjaya is telling, Madhusudana, that is Lord Krishna, said. Shri Krishna said these words, Idam Vakyam, this utterance Shri Krishna made. What did Shri Krishna tell him? So that is in the next two verses. But he said to whom? Whom was this utterances of Lord Krishna told to? To Arjuna. What kind of Arjuna? Vishidantam, deeply grieving, full of sorrow. Kripaya Vishtam, overwhelmed with pity. Arjuna was in a pitiable condition. Further, Ashrupurna Kulekshanam, tears were streaming from the eyes of Arjuna. Can you imagine? Such a brave person, Savyasachi, the greatest warrior, is crying, shedding tears. So you can see what state of mind he is. Ashrupurna Kulekshanam, tears were streaming from the eyes of Arjuna. These are not the signs of stability or strength. To that kind of Arjuna, Shri Krishna spoke these words. Now we can see the abnormal state of Arjuna's mind. It was highly pathological, not healthy. A healthy mind won't be like this. That is what we have to learn first. Weeping and wailing on facing some problems is not a healthy condition. I tell many of the people who come to me, start crying, then I tell, no self-pity. Should be bold, brave. You are the children of God. No self-pity. Do not self-pity. So that is the condition of Arjuna here. A healthy mind won't be like this. That is what we have to learn first. Weeping and wailing on facing some problem is not a healthy condition. Certainly, if the problems are too much beyond our control, then we shall have to weep and wail. But if you can, you must try to face up to these problems. There are occasions when you cannot face a problem. And Vivekananda says in one place, I shall either fight the problem or take recourse to flight. There is no harm in flying away, provided you have done your best to face up to it. This is the positive attitude. Sri Krishna is going to convey this attitude to Arjuna, and then in the context of this, he will be expounding a wonderful philosophy, man-making philosophy, character-building philosophy of life for all people. Some of our own people would have said Arjuna. Now, normally thinking, you will tell, Arjuna is telling stop the war and Krishna is telling do the war. Who is right? We will think that Arjuna is right and Krishna is wrong. So, what Arjuna you have said is correct. Go home, wear some poor dress and take bhiksha from house to house and live an ascetic life. But running away from problem will not be a solution, for wherever you run, problems will chase you because you are carrying the same mind. It is not a changed mind. Wherever you go, you are carrying the same mind of yours. So, wherever you run, the problems will be chasing you. You have to face up to them sometime or the other. That wonderful idea is coming in Krishna's 2 verses now. Wonderful verse, as I told you, Swami Vivekananda tells that these are the best verses of Bhagavad Gita. How is it best? Scolding of Krishna to Arjuna is best. We will see later on. Now, we have to do some going back and then coming forth. What is that? We have to get the summary of the first chapter and we will see the introduction of the second chapter. Because when we are entering to the second chapter, we should know what is happening here. Then we should have a background. So now, let us now come to our own life. Okay? If we have to live a healthy life, we have to take care of 2 factors. What is that? One factor is that to keep our surrounding clean. Our surrounding should be such that it should not cause any disease. So you may be having a hygienic surrounding. But this external factor alone is not enough. Then what is the other factor? Another important factor is that my body must have sufficient resistance power to face the external world. Because there are so many doctors, so medically you know that medically, however, hygienic surrounding may be very good, but you cannot totally get rid of the microbes like bacteria and virus. Even a perfectly clean atmosphere will have the microbes which can cause diseases around, and that is why even in the most hygienic country, if they have to perform surgery, they will have a very sterilized or a special theater or a room. So that means in any atmosphere, germs, disease-causing germs are there. So perfect hygiene surrounding is not possible. Okay, to some extent we can do. Therefore, we have to take care of another important factor. And what is that? We have to build up the resistance of our own body. To such an extent, we have to build the resistance in our own body that no amount of bacteria and virus, even though they enter us, can harm us, because our resistance will fight it. let us hear to one of the sayings of a doctor. Suppose a person has advanced tuberculosis. You know that tuberculosis is so contagious. And suppose that person directly breathes into the mouth of 20 healthy people. Even then, only 3 or 4 of those people may catch that disease. All the people are not going to get that tuberculosis. Why? The Lord Bhagavan has given us sufficient immunity and resistance to face most of the disease. So, by keeping your body strong and immunity strong, then you can avoid. So, these are the 2 factors. If that is the case with the physical body, then what about our psychological condition or our mind? So, here also it is the same. What are they? 2 factors. One is subjective factor and the other is objective factor. And see, the external objective factor is the physical environment, the environment outside. In the mental health, means a mind free from all kinds of psychological diseases. What is that? Internal strength. The mind should be strong. What are the internal diseases? In the form of fear, in the form of anxiety, stress, strain, worry, anger, jealousy, inferiority complex. All these are mental diseases, psychological diseases. In our scriptures, they are called Shadripu. What is Shad? Shad means 6. Shat, it comes from the word Shat. What is Ripu? Enemies. So they are internal 6 group of enemies. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. What is meant by Kama? Lust or desire, intense desire. That is the cause of many problems. Then Krodha, anger. Lobha, greed. Moha, delusion, confusion. Mada, arrogance, pride. Matsarya, jealousy. So these are the 6 internal enemies. These are all varieties of psychological diseases. So I told you in the beginning itself, stress, strain, worry, anger, all those things, anxiety. And when we are facing this problem, generally, we talk about only the external contribution. How the world, the external world is responsible for our problems. You will be always blaming either your wife or husband or children or the school or the college or the working place responsible for our tension. How our children are responsible for our anxiety. How our parents are responsible for our frustration. So in that way we go on blaming all the external factors. But our scriptures point out that for mental health, we have to take into account, just like the physical health, 2 factors, not only the external world, it's not only totally responsible for all our problems, just like the external environment. Similarly, what is very important is the internal strength of the mind. That is very similarly here also our scriptures point out that mind or the weakness of the mind is also responsible for our psychological problem. Now, let us see what are they. If I have to have a healthy mind, I have to take into account all these things. In trying to change the wife or the husband giving a divorce, or we will We can't change the children, you see. You can only run away from the children. We are trying to adjust the external environment. Or you want to change the government. Everybody will be blaming the politicians, but you are the people who have elected them. So we are always complaining about the external factors. But what I am doing to find out whether I have got internal strength, the mental strength to face all these situations. And if I have got sufficient mental strength, the advantage is even the whole environment is unhealthy outside, my strong mind will not be disturbed by any of them. Now, what is the sign of a healthy body? Disease will be very less or less frequency of the disease. The intensity of the disease also is less. Very little cold or cough may come, but frequency will be less, intensity will be less, and the duration of the disease is also less. And finally, the after effect of the disease is also less. Extending the same principle, if our mind has got sufficient strength and resistance, immunity, the number of psychological problems I face, like frustration, stress, strain, irritation, jealousy, anger, fear, security, that is insecurity, inferiority complex, diffidence, which are all the diseases, such mental diseases do not frequently occur. The frequency is less. That means not only you will not be disturbed, your family and surroundings also will not be disturbed. If I get less anger, who will be benefited? Not only me, but also my people in the surroundings. So, the frequency of psychological disturbance is less. Now, let us take one example of anger. There is one saying in Sanskrit. What is that? Uttame kshana kopasya madhyame ghatika dvayam adhame syat ahoratram papishte maranantakam. Uttame kshana kopasya. What is that? Suppose a person who is strong mentally gets anger, that will be there only for a second or a minute. Anger will come to every person. But what is the sign of a healthy person? Ksanakopa, only few minutes, and he will recover back and he carries on with his work. Madhyama, a mediocre person, ghatika dvayam, the anger will go on for 1 or 1.5 hours. Then what about the lowest or least mental strength, person of least mental strength? Adhama is called Adhama in our scriptures. Adhame syat ahoratram. Whoever, now the whole day and night, even the night, it will continue, that anger will continue. But there are some more people who have not only least that resistance is very less, the mental capacity is very less, but they are great sinners. Papishte maranantakam. The disturbance of anger or all these will be whole life, they will be like that. So when they get angry, anybody coming to their vicinity, they will get angry, they will make them irritated. So that will go on continuing. So that's why a healthy mind is the one, the frequency, the intensity of the disturbance of the mind will be, the duration is less, and also the after effect. We all get frustrated sometimes, but you will find that There are some people, frustration will continue for months and years. But there are some people, like a rubber ball, they also get frustration. But like that rubber ball, they just bounce back and continue happily in their life. Therefore, a healthy life, happy life, or a strong psychological life requires taking care of two factors. One is adjusting the external condition, another is improving the strength of our mind. People talk about adjusting the external setup. Company problem, change the company. House problem, change the house. Now they are changing even wife and husband too. They try to adjust the setup, but our scriptures tells, especially Vedanta is talking about the subjective factor. How can I improve my inner strength, my psychological resistance, that whatever be the ups and downs in external condition, I am not seriously affected. And this freedom from mental problems and diseases and the troubles caused by the external factor, this freedom is called moksha. Moksha means freedom. Now, Lord Krishna will tell in the second chapter. One of the verse in the second chapter is Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha sukheshu vigataspruha vitaraga bhayakrodaha sthitadir muniruchyate. A man of wisdom, a strong man of wisdom, or a person who is free, who he also faces challenges and difficulties. But anudvigna manaha, his mental resistance, his strength of the mind is so much that he is not shattered by those vicissitudes, problem. Though he gets varieties of problem, is not shaken by that, says Lord Krishna in the second chapter, 56th verse. So now you have come to know the whole of Bhagavad Gita here afterwards in the second chapter is the remedy, how to make yourself strong. So much so that no external factor or any problem outside should not disturb you, trouble you. So that is what Krishna will prepare you now. While you read from the second chapter onwards, slowly you will start becoming stronger and stronger, not only externally, internally, that is psychologically and emotionally and spiritually. He will make you strong with all the teachings. That is the speciality of this Bhagavad Gita. So now we have got some inkling from the first chapter. By taking the example of Arjuna, we ourselves can compare our life. We are also getting into same problems. So now the next chapter, that is, it's the remedy. Now let us go through some of the wonderful words of Swami Vivekananda to understand the predicament of Arjuna and why Krishna is telling, go and fight, do not run away. So by these words of Swami Vivekananda, you can understand this better. Swami Vivekananda in the complete works is telling, that is, the Bhagavad Gita is opening in the battlefield. Both sides see their relatives and friends. One brother and one side, and the other side a grandfather, and one side a grandson. And when Arjuna sees his own friends and relatives on the other side and knows that he may have to kill them, his heart gives away and he says that he will not fight. Thus begins the Bhagavad Gita. For all of us in this world, life is a continuous fight, says Swami Vivekananda. So when somebody asked Vivekananda, what is life? He told life is a continuous fight with nature, internal and external. Life is a continuous fight with nature, internal and external. See, there was rain, there was floods. Now, water rushes into your house. Will you tell, oh, let the rain come, let the water rush? No, you will fight against the nature. You will see that water doesn't come to your house. You will make strong arrangements. You will see that there will be always electricity. You put a generator. You are fighting against the external nature. So likewise, your mind, the internal nature will bring you so many problems. You will fight against it. So that whole of our life is a continuous fight against nature, internal and external. So what is life? We've got the wonderful meaning given by Swami Vivekananda. And he also tells, the moment you stop fighting, that is death. Vivekananda tells, the moment you stop fighting, that is death. So, this world is a continuous fight. Many a time comes when we want to interpret our weakness and cowardice as great forgiveness and renunciation. There was a funny saying in India. What is that? Two people were fighting. Then this fellow came back and he told, I have forgiven that fellow. Whatever he hit, that blow fell on my nose, it didn't fall on my head. That's why I forgive him. If that blow had come on my head, I would have retorted back. I would have fought him back. It fell on my nose, so I have forgiven him. So like that, our cowardice and thing we will show off as if we are now forgiving them and we are great saints. Many a time comes when we want to interpret our weakness and cowardice as forgiveness and renunciation. There is no merit in the renunciation of a beggar. If a beggar tells that, oh, I have given up everything, he doesn't have anything. But he will claim that, see, I'm a great renunciate, I have given up everything. No, the beggar cannot become a renunciate. There is no merit in the renunciation of beggar. Now, that's why Swami Vivekananda compares. But Buddha, earlier, he was a king. He had a beautiful wife, a beautiful child. He had all the facilities. He gave up everything and became a monk. So that is renunciation. If a beggar claims that he has given up everything, there is no strength in it. If a person who can give blows, who is strong, if he forbears, there is merit in that. If a person who gives up, who doesn't have this capacity to give a blow back, if he tells that I will not fight, there is no merit in that. We know how often in our life, through laziness and cowardice, we give up the battle and try to hypnotize our minds into the belief that we are brave. Only thing, we didn't want to fight. So Arjuna's condition is also like that, tells Swami Vivekananda. The Gita opens with this very significant verse. What is that? Krishna is telling, arise, O prince, give up this faint-heartedness, this weakness, stand up and fight. Klaibhyamma smagamaf partha, naitatvai upapudyate, kshudram hridayadaurbalyam, tyaktvottishta parantapa. O scorcher of the enemies, Arjuna, give up this faint-heartedness, says Krishna. See the words used there. Now, that's what Swami Vivekananda is giving his own beautiful twist to that language of Krishna. Arise, O prince, give up this faint-heartedness, this weakness, stand up and fight. Now again Arjuna trying to argue the matter with Krishna. And he will bring higher moral ideas. How? Non-resistance. Suppose somebody does harm to you, somebody is doing injustice, somebody is troubling others, then you have to resist. You have to go and fight and stop that. If you don't do, that is called non-resistance. So then how non-resistance is better than resistance and so on. Arjuna is trying to justify himself, but he cannot fool Krishna. Krishna is the higher self or God himself. He sees through the argument at once. In this case, the motive of Arjuna is weakness. Arjuna sees his own relatives and he cannot strike them, though they are on the wrong side, on the unrighteousness. There is a conflict in Arjuna's heart between his emotionalism and his duty. See now, Vivekananda gives a wonderful explanation. What is emotion? What is emotionalism? Carefully listen. You will come to know what is emotionalism. The nearer we are to the beasts, that is animals and birds, the more we are in the hell of emotions. The nearer we are to the beasts, that is animals and the birds, the more we are in the hell of emotion. But we give it a beautiful name called love. We will give a colorful name called love. If you cover carrion dead body with roses, will it stop stinking? You put any amount of scent or deodorant on the dead body, it will start stinking. So you may cover up your emotions and other things and give it a wonderful name called love. Suppose a donkey wears a tiger skin. Will it become a lion or a tiger? No. The moment it starts braying, making sound, then the reality will come out. Likewise, Vivekananda is telling, we call it love. And what is that? It is self-hypnotization. We are under the control of our emotions like animals. A cow can sacrifice its life for its young one. Every animal can. What of that? It is not the blind bird-like emotion that leads to perfection. To reach the eternal consciousness, that is the goal of man, their emotions has no place, nor sentimentalism, nor anything that belongs to the senses. Only the light of pure reason. There man stands as spirit, the Atman. See, Vivekananda is explaining. Now, Arjuna is under the control of emotionalism. He is not what he should be. A great self, controlled, enlightened sage, working through the eternal light of reason, has become like an animal, like a baby, just letting his heart carry away his brain, making a fool of himself and trying to cover his weakness with the flowery name of love, and so on. Krishna sees through that. Arjuna talks like a man of little learning and brings out many reasons, but at the same time, he talks the language of a fool. Now, let us come back to, these are the words of Swami Vivekananda. Now, let us come back to the words of Lord Krishna. We will chant that wonderful verse where Krishna is giving a shock treatment to Arjuna. Sometimes we need that, you see. That's why the first treatment is shock treatment. The elders, the gurus, when they scold you, when they give you the shock treatment, that is for your good. You should know that. Now, let us hear those wonderful words of Lord Krishna. The second verse of the second chapter. Klaibyammasmagamah partha. Klaibyammasmagamah partha. Naitatvayupapadyate. Naitatvayupapadyate. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Tyaktvottishta parantapa. Tyaktvottishta parantapa. Now, let us get into this wonderful teaching, praised very much by Swami Vivekananda. This is a very powerful verse. Klaibyam. What is meant by klaibyam? Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj uses a wonderful word here. What is that? For klaibyam means chicken-heartedness. Chicken-heartedness. You can say weakness. Absolutely no strength. No manliness in it. Masmagamaha partha. Don't fall a prey, O Partha. So Partha means Arjuna. Don't fall prey to this meanness, this chicken-heartedness. Why? Why should you not fall? Naitatvayupapadyate. This does not befit you. See the words of Krishna, scoldings of Krishna. These are direct thing to us. See, whenever you are in distress, whenever you are in trouble, worry, anxiety, immediately see, get this verse by heart. Memorize it. Repeat it. Klaibyamma smagamah partha naitatvayupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa. Give up this faint-heartedness, chicken-heartedness. Wake up, get up, stand and fight. Do not run away. So you have to get it by heart. Whenever you face problem, remember this. Chant it and you see how strength will come to your heart. How you will feel that strength, those words. Oh Partha, don't fall a prey to this meanness, to this chicken-heartedness. Naitatvayupapadyate. This does not befit you. You are so heroic. You are so noble. You are so great. This behavior does not befit you. What a wonderful idea. Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is telling, whenever I read this part of the verse, I like this wonderful sentiment fit for telling children. It does not befit you. You are so good. You are so noble. The way you behave does not fit you. That will bring the best out of a person. When you give this idea, you are a great person. You have great ability in you. This kind of meanness does not befit you. Come on, get out of this. When you tell, that will bring out the best of a person. So, this approach of naitatvayupapadyate, it does not befit you, can be an educational maxim for parents and teachers with respect to the children, and generally also for men and women when they deal with each other. This behavior does not befit you. That means you respect the person, he or she has forgotten his or her true nature and is doing something below his or her dignity. So this appeal is a positive appeal. It has the power to evoke the best in you, the best in the listener. Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, this is not your true form. Some maya or delusion has come upon your mind. This weakness, this dejection, what is called nervous breakdown, that is not your true form. When we have a nervous breakdown, how weak we become, like babies. Now, Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, he is giving his own example. And what is that? Ranganathanji Maharaj is telling, I had to deal with a very close friend, a principal of an engineering college, a noble-minded person, highly respected by all the students and teachers. So, when Ranganathanandaji Maharaj was the head of ashram in Pakistan, Karachi, then undivided India. Before India got divided, it was one India. So, he was the head of the ashrama, Ramakrishna ashrama in Karachi. After the partition, that was forcibly closed down. They had to close up all the ashram and come back to India. So, when Ranganathanji Maharaj was in Karachi, he knew this principle. In Karachi, he got a nervous breakdown, that principle. His condition was like that of a baby, absolutely no strength, no energy, no courage. Can't meet anybody. He won't go to college. He will leave at home. I took him in the car, took him to the engineering college, made him sit on the principal chair. You run this college. You are such a great soul, so noble. As soon as I left, he also left and came and sat in his house. He couldn't meet anybody. But after 6 months, everything changed. All strength came back. That was just like a cloud coming over the sun, a temporary cloud. The real man came out again. The same wonderful work went on. He built and developed 2 more engineering colleges in India. Later on, he passed away very peacefully. So with nervous breakdown, you become a nobody. Your old self is dead. Actually, it is not dead. It is there. It is clouded by this weakness that has come upon you. So, we go to the psychiatrist. He deals with us and somehow he puts us into a good condition. We see this happening every day outside world. This concept that man is essentially divine. This concept that man is essentially divine, all this weakness that you experience is not your true form. There is something profound about you. That is the basic Vedantic teaching. That is why when Vivekananda was asked in America during the question hour, Swami, are you not preaching some kind of hypnotism by Vedanta? In the name of Vedanta? Just hypnotizing people that you are great, you are strong, you are not weak, you are Atman. Is this not hypnotism? Asked a person in America after the Vedantic lecture. Then what did Swami Vivekananda tell when he accosted him by telling you are hypnotizing people? Swami Vivekananda immediately replied with a smile, no sir, I am de-hypnotizing you. You have been hypnotized to think that you are weak. I am de-hypnotizing you. With the words of Swami Vivekananda. They are already hypnotized. They say, I am white, I am black, I am this, I am that. All this is false. You are infinite Atman and I am that. Not all these external things. You are the child of immortality. You are the children of God. One with all. That is your true dimension. Tattvamasi. You are that. Not this tiny organic system. There is something profound about you. So all education has this quality. It de-hypnotizes you. Some weakness has come and it has obstructed your true form. You are essentially strong. How do you know? How many varieties of energy and strength are within you? You don't know. Therefore, don't despair. You can get out of this difficulty. There is strength hidden within you. This is the positive attitude Vedanta proclaims to everyone. Here, Sri Krishna stands on that pedestal and then addresses Arjuna. And he's telling, Naitatvai upapadyate. It does not befit you, O Arjuna. It is just a temporary aberration. A little cloud which is covering the sun. A cloud has come there and the sun has become dark. The sun is still there. The cloud will go away and the sun will shine once again. This is how you have to deal with human weakness. Another great saying of Swami Vivekananda, what is that? The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, then what? But to think of strength. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but to think of strength. That is what Krishna will show the strength of Arjuna. You are Atman, you are divine, you are omnipotent. You are not a weak, mean-minded person. Think of your true nature. That is what the second Sankhya Yoga, Gnana Yoga, he will give the true nature of ours, the strength which is within us. That is what you can see here. That is how you have to deal with human weakness. We are not essentially weak. We are essentially strong. But when we don't realize this truth, we weep repeatedly over every problem like small children. For example, the child's only language is weeping. See, there was a cartoon long back by R.K. Lakshman in the house. So many family members, father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, kaka, kaki, everybody are there, some 15, 16 members. One baby, small baby, is crying loudly. All these 15, 20 members are trying to cajole him, console him. Then the caption of this cartoon is, who is the master of the house? He's controlling all of them. So the children, their weapon, not only of the children, even of the women, the weapon of the children and the women is tears. Tears is the weapon of the children. So that's what you can see here. The child's only language is weeping. Nothing else is there. Even grown-ups become like children. Swami Vivekananda's diagnosis of India then, during the last several centuries, is a nation constantly weeping and weeping and weeping. Then he calls Indians, he gives a clarion call to the Indians. We have wept long enough. No more weeping, but stand on your feet and be men. We have wept long enough. No more weeping, but stand on your feet and be men. This is famous passage in Vivekananda's teaching. The whole nation has been weeping for centuries with a sense of inadequacy with respect to our environment. We did not know our own strength. Slowly that is changing. Yes, problems are there, but we shall find the way to deal with all this. In this way, that weeping state of India is changing now. No more weeping. We shall have to manifest our strength, face up these problems. Now, again, Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is giving another example when describing about this verse. What is that? He tells, I went to Jakarta in 1963-64 at the time of Vivekananda's birth centenary. And at that time, who was the president of Indonesia? Sukarno. That president of Indonesia, Sukarno, wrote a foreword to a book on Vivekananda. See, he was a Muslim. Indonesia is a Muslim country, is the president of that Islamic country. And now that President Sukarno is writing a foreword to Vivekananda's book. And what is he? He wrote a foreword to a book on Vivekananda in the Indonesian language. Swara Vivekananda. Swara in Sanskrit means sound. In Indonesian language it means words. Words of Vivekananda or saying of Vivekananda. This president, I think he's no more. His daughter became the next president. Her name is Sukarno Putri. Whatever that might be, let us now focus on Sukarno, the president then in 1963. Sukarno wrote the introduction and he was having a 1-hour TV session to release that book. Indian ambassador Appa Pant was there as my host. Passage. Sukarno was deeply influenced by Swami Vivekananda's ideas from his younger days. He always kept the complete works of Swami Vivekananda in his bedroom. And he told me, you can go to the bedroom, you will find all the volumes of Swami Vivekananda are there. I read a page or two every day, he said. So in that passage, in the foreword, he says, Swami Vivekananda, what a name. He was the one who taught me how to love my people, how to love my country, how to love the whole world. He was the one who said, we have wept long enough. No more weeping now, but stand on your feet and be men. Yours, Sukarno. See, these words of Krishna coming through the voice of Vivekananda, same thing. Old wine in the new bottle, that's all. But relevant to this age, has inspired the president of an Islamic nation. And what is that? No more weeping, but stand on your feet and be men. So the book was in English as well as in the Indonesian language. So this attitude which Sri Krishna expressed then found a new expression in our time in Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda loved these two verses very much. In his discourse on the Bhagavad Gita, he says, if you can understand the spirit of these two verses of the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Swami Vivekananda says, if you understand the essence of these two verses, then that is, you have understood the spirit of whole of Gita. You have understood the spirit of whole of Gita. This presents a strong philosophy to make heroes out of clay. This spirit must be captured by us. We could do so. We all read the Bhagavad Gita, but we did not catch the spirit of this powerful message. Now Swami Vivekananda has come and given us the same message of strength, facing up to the problem. Don't run away from the problem. That is what we have to learn here in the Bhagavad Gita. Do not run away from the problem. Face the problem. Recently I had been to Kashi. There I went to the Durga temple near Sankatamochan temple of Hanuman. So near the Durga temple there is a lake. Big lake. One side is the lake, other side is the bund, and the other side is a wall. Vivekananda in those days, as an itinerary monk, Parivrajaka, was walking on this path, lake, wall. Monkeys started chasing him. So Vivekananda, when monkeys are chasing, what will he do? He started running. Seeing some monkeys chasing him and Swami Vivekananda running, many other monkeys followed. Then nearly 50, 60, 100 monkeys are following, making sounds and about to bite him. While Vivekananda was running like this, one sadhu who was sitting by, he told, Sadhu, do not run. Stop. Face the brutes. Then immediately Vivekananda stopped. All that 100 monkeys stopped. Face them. Face the brutes. Vivekananda turned and faced them. All the monkeys ran back. Then he went a little further. All of them ran and climbed the tree and ran away. A very ordinary incident. But Vivekananda takes this opportunity to give us this wonderful teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. He tells, problems will come to all of us in our life. Do not run away from difficulties. Do not run away from problems. Face the problem. If you face the problem, then all the other problems will run away. If you run away from one problem, all the problems will chase you and will start troubling you. If you face one problem, then all the problems will vanish into thin air. It will run away just like the monkeys. Giving that wonderful example, Vivekananda gives us this wonderful message. Same thing what Lord Krishna is telling. This is not your true nature, Arjuna. Stand up and fight. What is your faint-heartedness, meanness? You are not like this. You are something great. Come on, get up. Do not cry. Enough of weeping. Fight and kill the enemies. So, that wonderful message, you need not take a weapon, a sword and gun and go to the battlefield and fight. As I told you, life, Vivekananda tells you, life is a continuous fight. So this message is to be taken to fight the internal enemies and the enemies which come in the form of different troubles of the nature, the external surroundings. You have to face. You should not be afraid. You should not run away. You should not sit and cry. You should not weep. Be bold and face everything, and you will see everything clears off. So that's why, see, I have to still go deeper and deeper. I will again bring Swami Vivekananda's further teaching about this, and we shall enjoy this. See, just one verse of words of Krishna. So much of joy, so much of strength. You can feel the strength. Just one verse. That's why I'm requesting you. Get it by heart. Say, I can quote this anytime. So you should also get it by heart. That's why I'm teaching you the chanting. If you get it by heart, whenever you are in difficulty, immediately remember Arjuna's problem as your problem. Then Lord Krishna is standing there, and Swami Vivekananda is also there with you. Klaibhyamma smagamah partha naitatvai upapadyate. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Kshudram, very lowly weakness of your heart. Kshudra. Hridaya daurbalyam, weakness of your heart. Tyaktvottishta, throw it away. See those words. Tyaktvottishta, tyaktva, throw it away. Stand up, uttishta. Parantapa, scorcher of the enemies. You are the scorcher of the enemies. Parantapa, tyaktva, uttishta. So those words you should remember. So remember that, get it by heart, and always you should remember. Any problem, every day you have to repeat this. The essence of Bhagavad Gita. So we will continue to study this again, because now we have completed our time. We will take up the same thing, go deeper and deeper, connect these things, teachings to our life, and enjoy it. Because that will help us to face all the difficulties, all the problems of our life. So that's why we'll go deeper and deeper and connect it to all different situations of our life, and get that joy, get that spirit of strength from those words of Lord Krishna and also words of Swami Vivekananda. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will now chant one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim Yatkrupatamaham vande परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।